Fox Sports News Prime Time. The stage is set for a fall classic. Get the latest as the Yankees and Braves prepare for the World Series. Plus, don't call it a comeback. Iron Mike gets ready to rumble. Then the NFL puts this talented Ram out to pasture. And this Seminoles' legal troubles may not be over after all.
10 on the last word.
Jim Rome goes one-on-one with the Raiders' Eric Allen. Get the last word on pro football. Fox Sports News Prime Time. Followed by the last word tonight starting at 10.
It's SEC TV Weekly on Fox Sports Net. Join us every Saturday morning as we give you all the news, highlights, in-depth interviews, and player profiles from around the Southeastern Conference. Each and every week, we'll take you from the gridiron to the locker room and from the field to the court like only SEC TV Weekly can. Plus, we'll give you a preview of all the week's matchups as we take you barnstorming around the league. All this and more on SEC TV Weekly, Saturday at 10 Eastern on Fox Sports Net.
Hi, everybody. I'm Dan Deerdorf. Where would you go for a home equity loan? Let's ask.
Well, banks have the best rates.
But banks only lend money when you don't need it.
Advanta National Bank is different. They lend money to people when they need it.
Right. With my credit?
They made their first loans 45 years ago to teachers who had trouble borrowing. They helped out when others wouldn't.
This is a bank, right?
With customers who get the flexibility only a national bank can offer, right over the phone.
Got to move all your accounts there.
Nope, just call Advanta. One of their loan specialists will show you how to use the equity in your home to pay off all of your bills. Get one low monthly payment and save hundreds of dollars a month, plus a tax deduction.
You'll wait for some board to approve.
You'll get fast approval over the phone. And your money in about 10 days. You don't need to have money in the bank to get money from a bank. To get the loan you want, call Advanta at 1-800-507-9840. You'll see they're different. Hey, they don't keep bankers' hours either.
It's a sight to warm the heart of any race fan. Nearly 100 Legends cars from around the nation pack the track at Lanier National Speedway just outside Atlanta. Heart-pounding action in the Dixie Legends World Challenge. Straight ahead. Lumber Fall Classic from Lanier National Speedway, featuring the Kroger Dixie Legends World Challenge. Hello, everyone. I'm Brian Trevor. Glad you could join us here because we're going to have Legends racing at its very, very best in all of the divisions that are normally featured in this category. The Hard Chargers, Semi-Pro, Masters, and the Pro Division. As a special bonus, we're going to have late model racing from here at Lanier National. So there's going to be a lot of action because there are a record number of entries, and the cars and drivers have come from all over the place to Lanier National for one of the highlights of the season here in these tiny little cars with motorcycle engines under the hood. Working with me, my broadcast partner, a motorcycle racing champion. Let's go to David Sadowski.
Well, Brian, you know I always go after the youthful guys in the group because Legends Racing, it affords it. I'm talking with 13-year-old Reed Sorensen. Now, Reed, you're in semi-pro. It doesn't make sense to me. I don't really know about Legend cars that much, but shouldn't you be in the Chargers class?
Well, last year we ran the Young Lions division, and we got a year's experience under our belt, and we moved up to the semi-pro division this year and did pretty good.
Well, I understand that you're real good at setting up the car, and you have some wins under your belt this year.
Yeah, we have 26 wins under our belt this year, and you know, my dad's worked real hard, and I've worked real hard, and it pays off.
Now, you do a full-time school? You go to public school?
I go to a private school at Woodward Academy.
Right on. What do your teachers think about your driving career?
A couple of my teachers are real interested in it. Most of the kids, you know, never heard a kid racing before, but they think it's pretty cool.
Now, 26 wins. You got to have a good team behind you to do that.
Yeah, I have a real good team. I got my friend Shane Bourgeois helping me, and my dad, he knows a lot about the cars. He helps me a lot, and I try to communicate with him the best I can so we have everything running right.
Well, I saw you after you came in from the heat race. The car wasn't really to your satisfaction. You're going to make some changes?
Yeah, we got to make a couple adjustments from the heat race. The car was a little loose right in the center, so we're going to make a couple adjustments and hopefully we'll go to the front.
And these guys will actually listen to you and make the changes?
Yes, sir. I just want to thank Allen Vigil, South Lake Ford, Quaker State Racing, Trailers Palettes, and Racing Radios.
Well, that's a pretty outspoken 13-year-old. We'll wish you the best of luck tonight, Reed. 13 years old, keep your eye on the 7R car in semi-pro.
Okay, Ski, I've never made any secret out of the fact that the Masters division is my favorite, and these guys are all in the Masters division. In fact, they've just about filled up the field. This particular group calls themselves the Old Farts Racing Team, but we can't say Old Farts on TV, so you're Bobby Green, right? What do you fellas actually call yourselves?
The Windbreakers. Not really, Brian. We're really the Middle Georgia gang.
And who is the Middle Georgia gang here?
We got Johnny, Tommy, Lloyd, Morris, and Pete, the crook.
Okay. Now, wait a minute. You called him a crook. What do you do for real?
I sell computers.
That's not reason to be put in jail, is it?
That's a trick question, right?
What he does with them is.
They never can.
Morris, you're the oldest member, apparently. I'm going to say that because I'm guessing, but I think you also outqualified these guys.
Well, we had a good run this afternoon. Of course, today these guys are running strong. But, you know, we got one more race to go. And, you know, they're my juniors, and I got to kind of teach them something.
You know, these fellas are always the most fun. And, Ski, apparently age and treachery really does outdo youth and enthusiasm, even among their peers. Back to you.
Well, Brian, the Legends Racing Series is the only motorsports series I know of where they'll let a 12-year-old boy run in with the grown men. I'm with the 23 in the Charters division, Brendan McElroy. Brendan, this has got to be a dream come true for you, buddy.
Yeah, I've been thinking of this for a very long time, ever since I was a young kid.
You still are a young kid.
That's very true.
And you have Steve Dale in your corner as your team owner and car builder. What's it like to have a qualified, experienced man in your corner?
Steve Dale's a former ARCA and ASA champion in 1979, so he knows a lot about racing, and he backs me up a whole lot whenever I get in a tight jam.
Well, you're out there racing tonight in the heat races, and it seems like the car was working to your liking?
Yeah, I won the heat race. Did pretty good, actually. I like the car the way it is, so I'm going to leave it alone and hope that I do good in the feature.
Well, 12 years old, you got to have an ambition. What's your professional ambitions?
I hope to make it into NASCAR or something further up the road.
What about school, though? What kind of grades do you get?
I get A's and B's. I'm doing pretty good in school.
I want to see your report card.
I would show it to you, but I don't have it with me.
Well, good luck to you, kid. You look like you got a bright future ahead of you.
Yes, I did. Thank you.
All right.
Our full schedule of events will start with the Charger division, but as we've already found out, that's not the only class. With youth on its side all the way up to the pro division, that's the guys that really get the job done. Late model stock cars, a lot going on here tonight. Now, James Brown says it's a man's world, but it ain't so. Let's go back to Ski.
Well, right before the start of the Chargers division, I got Michelle Theriault in the 14 car, black 14 car. Michelle, what's it like to drive around Lanier? This is your first time here.
Yeah, it is. I like it. It's a lot easier than Atlanta, but I'll get used to all of them. But I like this track.
And you're getting used to this horsepower. You come out of the go-karts. There's a lot of horsepower underneath your right foot.
Yeah, it is, but I like it. I've always liked being fast, so I like it.
I understand your dad's a big part of your plan here.
Oh, yeah. He loves racing, and he got me started in this, and that's what got me started. Now I've been doing it for 8 years, and I like it, so.
We wish you the best of luck tonight. Run up the front, will you?
Yeah, sure. Thanks.
See ya.
Bye.
Legends Racing has a little something for everybody. Our Charger class is lined up and ready to go. Stay with us.
Everybody likes their meats served differently. That's why every Kroger has its own meat and seafood specialist to prepare your special orders. So, when you go Krogering, ask one of our experts for help. After all, when it comes to meats, some folks can be pretty fussy. Prefer to go Krogering than to any other supermarket in Atlanta? The answer is simple. For goodness sake. Kroger. For goodness sake.
FogDog.com, Toyota, and Fox Sports News Primetime present the You Need a Vacation sweepstakes. Just log on to FoxSports.com, click on the You Need a Vacation button, and enter to win a vacation at Club Med Ixtapa. Watch weeknights for your chance to win with Fox Sports News Primetime, Toyota, and FogDog.com.
Sometimes you get a chance to discover greatness just a little bit before everyone else does. Discover tomorrow's stars at the Nike Tour Championship.
Did we make the point about no shortage of youth? This is the pole sitter for the late model race later on in the program. Charles Shoemaker with the quick time in the big bad cars that'll be racing late in our program. Right now, though, the Chargers are on the racetrack, and Ski, the start is so important. These guys go quick, stay quick.
It's overwhelming to me, Brian, how these young kids can get a hold of that, go out and charge real hard, go out and use all the racetrack and actually drive like veterans. And then when you see the kid receive the award, it just makes his whole day.
Our onboard looks will come from J.D. Johnson in the 117 car, the Primus.com snapshot entry. And you'll be looking out through the grill there, the grill screen of his windshield, and you'll see J.D. in the mirror. We'll also have the 69 car. Andrew Prosser has an onboard camera for us here tonight, the Hans Prosser Incorporated entry. And he, too, uses that screen windshield rather than a solid plexiglass to look through. Sawing on the wheel, getting a little bit of temperature in the tires.
When the lights come up here at Lanier, Brian, it's a little bit easier to see, less glare looking through the grill-type windscreen.
On board with the Logano Motorsports number 14 entry, Michelle Theriault will give us this view, and she too has selected that less glare option out there tonight. She'll start from near the back of the field, and we'll jump up to George Turner a couple of spots further up. He has the Community Bank camera that'll be carrying a view for you here tonight. He also trying to get a little temperature in the tires here on a nice cool fall evening at Lanier National Speedway. Packed house, not only on the racetrack, but in the stands. Starting grid for this one, young Brandon McElroy up front with Charles Turner, but this is a field full of not only young drivers, but some not so young, trying to move up through the world of Legends racing, Ski.
This is where it all starts, Brian. You got to kind of prove your worth in this one. Stay out of trouble if you can and try to keep your car in one piece, but you'll find out shortly that it's a hard thing to do.
And it is a full field of racers getting ready to go to the flag here behind the pole sitter and the front row. And boy, the number 23 car really jumped out there. Brandon McElroy got a great jump. And the 6 car of Charles Turner is already trying to make up ground.
Well, you said the track is kind of cold here tonight. Watch Brandon out front. The car will start to slide around in the early laps. If he can find the groove early on, this kid is going to pull a disappearing act.
David Odell in the number 75 car running third right now, but it is young Brandon McElroy out in front and extending his lead over Turner. And the whole field is stretched out in a long single file line around Lanier National.
You know, talking with the kids, I said, hey, what's it like? Kind of unnerving to come out near the wall? They just kind of shake their head and go, I don't even look at it.
Did you ever look at the wall, Ski, when you were racing?
No doubt, man. I use it for a reference point. It's the last thing you want to hit on a motorcycle. Legends car is pretty durable, though. And one of the rules is that you have to operate with a bumper on the machine because they do rub a little bit.
The 45 car, Chad Pearson, seems to be the guy on the move as we go on board with J.D. Johnson in the Primus.com snapshot car. You hear him on and off the gas, and boy, these little motors do scream.
Set him right at about 11.5. Maximum RPM. Torque right in about 10.2.
Brandon McElroy, still your leader with the 6 car of Charles Turner. Those two have kind of slipped away just a little bit. And then we got a big sideways move as Pearson center punches the 75 car. And so our third and fourth place cars, David Odell started to go around, and then Chad Pearson hunted him. There is mayhem all over the racetrack. And these guys just can't stay away from each other there. The 96 car getting tapped just a little bit. Jimmy Pelt. There is the very heavily damaged 75 of David Odell. He was running third for a while and being challenged by Chad Pearson. Lost the handle coming off of turn 4.
Well, unlike the late model stocks, the Legends guys don't have radios in the car and spotters aren't used, so you really have to pay attention, look way up ahead. And this could have started right up front with Brandon McElroy, kind of setting the pace early on cold tires. A lot of the guys not using the warm-up laps to get things hot enough.
Odell got loose. He got tagged. We'll be right back.
Finding a good business consultant was easy with the Real Yellow Pages. Now I need a good idea where to meet for lunch. They even show their menu. Your credentials really impress me.
Thanks, Dixie. Okay. First location is vital, then we'll determine necessary capital improvements, depreciation, analyze staffing factor, and merchandise mix, inventory control, and replacement, which of course will impact on turnover speed. Any questions so far?
The Real Yellow Pages from Bell South. Get an idea.
Do you charge by the hour or by the word?
Hi, I'm here in Washington, D.C. to let women know that the government has quota programs for women entrepreneurs to get money to start or expand a business.
I got over $2 million in government contracts for my training company.
Listen, women can get grants, loans, contracts, free help to start any kind of business. How much is the contract?
$199,000.
Great! Call me and I'll show you what you can get too.
Call 1-800-524-9977. That's 1-800-524-9977. Money back guaranteed if not completely satisfied.
Hey, they don't keep banker's hours either.
Sunday Night Fights has two of the most talked about fighters in the game. David Reed defends his super welterweight title, and Butterbean delivers the goods. Sunday Night Fights at 7 on Fox Sports Net.
Still cleaning up after the accident here in the Charger division at the Dixie Legends World Challenge, and Andrew Prosser is taking his number 69 car outside the racetrack to make an adjustment. Apparently the car is just so bad it's worth stopping.
Loosen me up, loosen me up.
He wants it loosened up on him. Car's pushing towards the wall apparently.
Bit of a risky move here, Brian. He's only got about 28 seconds or so at the pace car speed to get this adjustment made to the car, but kind of a heads-up move for such a young guy.
And so Andrew Prosser takes his car well within that 30-second or so window, and now we're on board with George Turner already out on the racetrack and in line, so Andrew's going to have to hustle to take up his spot before the restart here in the Charger division. We're 3 laps into the competition. We'll restart on lap number 4.
The restart to go single file versus the side-by-side pattern from the original start. We're going green, Brian.
Here we go with the early leader, and it is still the 23, Brandon McElroy, out in front, but being challenged by the 6. And these two guys have been the class of the field so far in this race, although it's not very long. Charles Turner and Brandon McElroy have been able to run away, and they've done it again.
Brandon and Charles looking almost on the same identical racing line. The setup of the cars, it can be greatly different, but it looks like these two are matched pretty well on horsepower and handling. Brandon McElroy, the youngster, though, that we interviewed, look at him set the pace. It's just amazing that this kid has got as much courage, and he just puts it right to use.
And very consistent. Obviously, a lot of experience despite his youth. And he's stretching the lead once again over Turner. Turner runs it in on him. They're coming sort of in the middle of the corner, but McElroy jets away on the exit.
I still want to see that kid's report card.
He's getting an A out there right now as Brandon McElroy with Charles Turner about 3 or 4 car lengths behind him. Then the rest of the field led by the 45, Chad Pearson. There he is in the yellow car. He managed to avoid any damage in that little melee there. And we're on board now with the Logano Motorsports. This is Michelle Theriot. She's coming up behind the 47 car there. She's actually made a couple of passes on the racetrack. Peter Horn in her bomb sights right now.
I think the biggest thing that Michelle needs to learn in her Legends car is to start off in some of the lower gears. She just really doesn't like to shift that thing because you got to back out of it and make a nice smooth shift. The gear shift selection, much like it is on the motorcycle, real quick and sharp. You can almost speed shift these cars, hold the throttle wide open, stab at the clutch, and just grab the next gear. That's one of the things she's going to have to get used to get off the line a little bit quicker.
Brandon McElroy way out in front. Give him an A+ so far now as he's been able to hold on to his lead, extend it even slightly, and if he's looking in the rearview mirror, he doesn't have a whole lot to see. Most of the action is a little bit deeper in the field between the 45 car of Chad Pearson and the 61 of Tommy Treat. This group racing pretty hard here, and probably the best race on the track. In 8th position, the 23 of Brandon McElroy goes right on by. He's the leader, but this side-by-side action here between the B car, Chris Green, and the 36 is a good one. Probably the best race on the track side-by-side.
I say the track being cold and everything, the cars, you saw Andrew Prosser come in. Hey, loosen it up some, it's too tight.
Jason Oakletree trying to get the position away from Chris Green. Oakletree on the high line, Green on the low line, but you'd think these two guys were on 2 separate racetracks.
The high line will work if you can carry the entrance speed, but you got to hunker it down at the apex, drive it all the way out to the wall. Right now. The inside line, though, in Legends Racing, always the place to be. A little bit more defensive. You get past in this one and tend to get swallowed up by the pack.
There's your second place car, the 6th Charles Turner. The leader, Brandon McElroy, is running away with this one. He's in traffic right now. That could help Charles Turner and the rest of the field.
See what kind of experience Brandon McElroy has going through the traffic. Looks like his lap times have dropped some 0.4 of a second as he approaches, but he's real cautious going through. He takes a lot of pride in the preparation of the car and that paint job. He doesn't want to scratch it up.
No way. That's a good-looking car. He wants to keep it that way. Brandon McElroy, your leader. There's the gap back to the second place, number 6 car of Charles Turner. And the battle for third has been hot all night long. The 45 of Chad Pearson and the 61 car of Tommy Treat.
Treat taking the low line. He's going to get balked. Look at the 45, Chad Pearson. Big speed, entrance speed. He's got some 4 to 5 miles an hour, and he just gaps him big time.
There were 2 choices, and the 45 driver, Chad Pearson, definitely made the correct one in that case. Here's your leader once again, Brandon McElroy, and it looks like rush hour in front of him now. He dives inside the 12 of Tommy McClure, and then thinks better of it, backs out a little bit, but he still has the low entry line, and he's just trying to figure out, how can I take all these guys?
We saw Pearson using the wide line. It's all about momentum, keeping these cars rolling around the racetrack in just a couple miles an hour and boost the mile an hour at the end of the straightaway. Brandon McElroy that time got all sideways. It looks like he's training his eyes on the lap cars, and instead of looking past Brian, he's looking at the bumpers.
Well, he's coming up on Andrew Prosser. We're on board with Prosser right now, and apparently he's still fighting a somewhat ill-handling race car because he has not made any progress, and there goes Brandon McElroy around him pretty easily. So Prosser's chassis adjustments didn't get the job done, and he's still struggling out there in that 69 car.
And this is where the spotter would come in real handy for Brandon McElroy. He could, the spotter could tell him, hey, go high, the outside line's open. We've got a little bit of contact here as they're coming up on lap traffic. Brandon McElroy basically stopped right in the middle of the pack there. We got guys swerving all over the place. Brandon doesn't even have an open line. He doesn't know where to go, and this is leaving all the track open for Charles Turner, who's reeling in the leader.
McElroy way up high on Michelle Theriault there, and the rest of the field, he's just about clear, but the second place car is getting very close to him now. Now there he is. There is Brandon McElroy, and there's your second place car as Turner has closed the gap right to that. He dives right by on the inside. All kinds of mayhem around Brandon McElroy, and the pass for the lead and the checkered flag coming off of turn 4 in traffic, and they have left debris in their wake, but the victory is going to go to Charles Turner in a last-minute ball of confusion. He was able to make the pass on young Brandon McElroy, who got really confused in the traffic there before the checkered flag.
And to his credit, though, Brandon kept that car in one piece, no scratches on it, and he just comes up about 20 yards short at the finish line. I give a nod to the kid for driving real smart.
Brandon McElroy with a second place finish to a more veteran driver, Charles Turner. David Sadowski on his way down to interview the winners, doing double duty here tonight. But there is Charles Turner, the winner in the Charger division, being interviewed by the PA announcer, and we take a look at the results. It was Turner, McElroy, Pearson, who got a good move on Tommy Treat. Peter Noon rounding out the top 5. Let's go downstairs to Ski.
Charles, good run. Looked like the kid was giving you a run for your money.
Oh, he had me beat, no doubt about it. But the lap traffic helped me there at the end, and we're just glad to have this victory.
Take us through those last couple of laps catching up.
Oh, it was hairy. It was real hairy. I mean, we was just splitting cars and just hoping that nobody hit us and cut us off or what have you. So it was pretty hairy.
Little lack of experience on the kid's part, you think?
I don't know about that. I wouldn't say that because he had me beat, so I better not say that. But so he's a good driver, no doubt about it.
Yeah, great run. Thank
you very much.
Congratulations to Charles Turner, and here is the confusing situation. Watch the yellow 23 and the white number 6. The 6 dives down low. McElroy gets hung up in what he thinks is just a whole lot of traffic, and the win goes to Turner.
I thought I had him covered. As you can see, my mirror is duct taped up, so I didn't know that he was right there, and the lap traffic just held me up, and there was nothing I could do about it. I was in a bad spot at a bad time.
Well, it was a great run, probably good experience for you as well, huh?
Yeah, it was a pretty good experience.
There's a very wise young man, and you know he'll return to race another day. We'll be right back, too.
Through all these
the care you take.
Come on, man. Get past it.
To see your family smile.
There are so many ways to love your family, and Kroger is always there to help.
Kroger, yes! For goodness sake.
Kroger's been a part of the neighborhood for a long time. We've helped with hundreds of Sunday mornings, thousands of supper times, and goodness knows how many late-night snacks. After all these years in Atlanta, we've made some wonderful friends.
Very, very fast.
It's the most fun you'll ever have for the dollars.
Let's go racing. Stop at Charlotte, watched the shootout, went and ordered a car the next day.
You can get into these things relatively inexpensively and have a real good time.
And they're true race cars. They're not toys.
This is the friendliest bunch of race drivers. It's a family affair. They're absolutely a handful.
We'll learn some stuff, get a grin on, and get a car and go racing.
Semi-pro action is next, and that does not mean that it's half as good as the pro class. These guys know how to get the job done, and as we zoom in on the youngster Reed Sorensen in the 7R car, we will also have an onboard look from inside the cockpit of his machine. Racing Radio's Ford entry.
It's going to be fun to watch Reed kind of soar through the pack here. The kid's all fired up, but very impressive young man. I really enjoyed talking with him, and I think you'll see him in NASCAR someday, and he'll be able to say, yeah, hey, David Sadowski interviewed me once in a Legends race.
All right. That's good on anybody's resume. Craig Goss Jr. will be the pole sitter. Reed Sorensen will go from row number 3. Terry Parker starts row 4, and as we look all the way back through the field here, we do see some names like Mike Willingham, and some of these guys that are familiar to us. Some of them have come up through the Charger division, or they just haven't quite made the next jump up to the pro class. There's Hans Prosser. We saw Andrew Prosser a while ago, and this is dad and sponsor out there racing and starting from near the back of the field. Gets set to go here, Craig Goss Jr. The 81 car will take him to the green flag. He gets the jump down on the inside, and alongside him is Chris Winkler. Congratulations to Chris, a new dad, had a baby girl just recently. Goss a little loose coming off the turn. Winkler way up high on the wall, but gets a great drive down into the apex of the turn and challenges up along the inside, but can't get it done.
Both Goss and Winkler really bottlenecked the pack at the start there. It made for a real tight pack going off the line here. Goss and Winkler right now, the class of the field out front.
Along with Buck Perry in the black number 5. We've seen a lot of that young man. He's in an ROTC program in school. Came out here with a high, tight haircut, looking for a win here tonight. He won last July 2nd in Charger division. He moved up to semi-pro. Buck Perry in the black number 5 challenge, and Winkler on the inside for second place, while Goss is out in front. On board with Reed Sorensen, and those are the leaders up in front of him right now, and you can see all the action dicing away there among the top 3. Goss, Winkler, and Buck Perry with a little smoke coming off the tires there as he stands on the brakes.
Well, it looks like Reed Sorensen's car is a little bit tight. Because of that, he's got to maintain a low line to keep him drifting wide. Buck Perry into second place.
Indeed, he is, as Buck Perry takes the black number 5 around Winkler.
Winkler doesn't like it either. He's fighting right back. Instant retaliation. That's good good racing habits there.
A little bit of contact, it looked like, too. Flames on the hood, fire in the eyes of Chris Winkler in the battle for second spot. Craig Goss Jr. out in front in his white number 81, starting to get into a little bit of traffic.
Chris Winkler, his car also a little bit tight. These guys need to soften up the suspension when the track goes a little bit colder. And with the lights up and the temperature dropping quickly, it may lend a little bit of an idea to the guys that are racing later in the night. But right now, Chris Winkler cannot turn the car in at his steering input point, and Buck Perry is definitely out driving him through the middle of the turn.
Buck Perry trying to close ground on the leader And the whole field really has tightened up from second on back to about 7th or 8th spot here as Goss drives away. And there you can see a very tight battle going on for the remaining positions on the podium. You see the 11 car, and that is Eric King. And there's the 7R, Reed Sorensen, trying to challenge. King's a little loose going on to the turn. Sorensen's got a great line, but King is able to hold it down and keep the youngster behind him.
Reed kind of pulling it down a little bit too aggressive there and scrubbed off a lot of speed. Now you can see the rear end coming around. But Chris Winkler having a heck of a time keeping that car down low. And the car ahead of him, Buck Perry, you see that telltale smoke out of the right rear tire? That's a good indication of how soft he is. He's almost bottoming the suspension.
Also seeing the 99 of Terry Parker creeping into the picture. The yellow car down low on the inside, comes up inside of Winkler just briefly, but then almost runs into the back of Reed Sorensen's 7R car. This is a terrific battle for third place. The 11 of Eric King. The 7R of Sorensen down inside. Winkler can't get the car to turn in. He's on the high line.
King goes out wide, though. We'll see what that'll do for his lapping move around. It works good for him. He took a neutral line there so he could go either way around lap traffic. He chose the outside line, then peeled it right back in. Using his mirrors right now. He's got a mirror full of Reed Sorensen. Chris Winkler still doing good. Maybe as those tires heat up and the suspension kind of gets warm, the car will soften up by itself a little bit, but no, he's had enough.
Winkler having a problem. He's down low on the inside and moving slowly. Apparently something is let loose on the number 15 car, so the new dad looks like he might be out of the race. Meanwhile, Eric King and Reed Sorensen going after it here. And Sorensen trying a couple of different lines around the racetrack to get around. But your leader is still Craig Goss Jr. in the 81, and he has checked out.
That smoke coming from Sorensen's car. It didn't look like tire smoke. Well, now it is, because he's burying that thing off the turn. And here comes the 99.
Still seeing tire smoke, and the 99 of Terry Parker is coming up in there for sure. The first two cars, Goss and Buck Perry, have checked out, but this battle for third has given the fans their money's worth. Reed Sorensen trying to hold it down on the low side to make a pass. Can't get it done yet. As Eric King is still holding on. Here comes Terry Parker up behind Reed Sorensen.
Definitely hooked up, and we do have some smoke coming out of Reed Sorensen's car right on after the decel and back on the gas. A little bit of ring seal perhaps on that Yamaha FJ 1200 motor.
Puff of smoke on the overrun. Parker challenging on Reed Sorensen. Eric King still holding the number 3 spot, and they've got company coming up from behind. There's your leader, the number 81, Craig Goss Jr., as he goes down inside on the 68 car there of Hans Prosser. Prosser having a similar handling problem that Andrew did. Can't get the car to turn in. But Craig Goss Jr. is your leader. Buck Perry in the black number 5 is second, but not in a challenging position right now. There he is. He's still got 3 or 4 car lengths to make up and needs traffic or something to help him.
But as we saw, yeah, in the Charger division, traffic can help, and it can do it in a hurry here. You get 2 Legends cars side by side, you almost have to stand on the brakes. Craig Goss Jr. doing a fine job right now, working his way through the traffic. He's leaving both sides of the racetrack open to him. The car just finishing off the corner there with a rear end steer, little blip of the gas. Some of the guys opting for 4th gear and then back into 3rd on some of the entry points, but basically just running around 4th gear, working the RPM range.
Your 2 leaders, Craig Goss Jr., Buck Perry, clear of traffic right now. They can just settle down to racing. Buck is trying to inch his way up to Craig Goss.
Just doesn't seem to have the horsepower at the end of the straightaway. Buck Perry's kind of making his time in the middle of the turns with a good steering input, keeping that momentum, not overdriving the car, letting it flow through the turn. Goss with a little bit more juice off the corner, Brian.
That's all he needs is one more corner as he comes out of turn number 4 with the lead. Buck Perry's going to come up short here as Craig Goss Jr. wins it over Buck Perry. And that great battle for 3rd ends up going to Reed Sorensen narrowly over Terry Parker. Eric King went from 3rd to 5th on the final lap, and there was no shortage of action and no caution during the entire race. But Mike Willingham and Mike Waldo get together after the checkered flag, and now they're parked on the racetrack talking about it, while Craig Goss Jr. heads for the winner's circle, and so does David Sadowski. Our congratulations to Craig Goss Jr. Pole sitter ran away with this one, held off a late challenge by Buck Perry, and ends up going to victory lane in his number 81 car. So as he gets unbuckled, we take a look at the final results there. You can see that Reed Sorensen ended up in third, and Eric King went back to fifth place. A caution-free race, but no shortage of action as Craig Goss Jr. climbs out of the race car, gets the congratulations, and here's David Sadowski with a word from the winner.
Heck of a run, Craig. Take us through the mid-race. The number 5 was reeling you in.
To tell you the truth, I never even looked back. I didn't know. I was just pretending like they were running my bumper. I don't know where he was. I was just trying to stay calm, that's all.
Sometimes that's the best thing to do. How many wins you got this year?
This would be about, I think, 25 or 26.
So you ought to roll.
We're being lucky, so hopefully we can keep it going.
All right, congratulations again. And coming up next, my guys, the Masters.
Everybody likes their meats served differently. That's why every Kroger has its own meat and seafood specialist to prepare your special orders. So, when you go Krogering, ask one of our experts for help. After all, when it comes to meats, some folks can be pretty fussy.
Through all the years, the care you take.
Come on, man. You'd pass.
To see a family smile.
There are so many ways to love your family, and Kroger's always there to help.
Kroger, yes! For goodness sake.
My dog grooming shop is nice and quiet until we open. Then I get a headache. BC stops my headaches fast, so I can stay on schedule and make it through all my appointments. BC powder. BC stops my backaches fast, too. BC works hard so you can too.
Welcome back to Lanier National Speedway with the Masters Division on the racetrack. I'm Brian Trevor with David Sadowski. Glad you could join us as George Phillips, who came up a little short the last time we saw these Legends cars race in the Master Division, earned the pole position. We expect him to have them covered here today, but a lot of these guys are going to have something to say about it, and including that big group that I talked to at the beginning of the show there, Ski, and man, what an interesting and fun bunch of guys those are. I think they embody the Masters Division. They just come out here to have a good time, race with each other, and go home and have a cold one together afterwards.
These guys, they don't have a golf game. They got their Legends cars. They enjoy the fellowship and the racing and the bench stories. It just goes on and on. It's a lot of fun for them.
They're going to be teeing it up here in just a minute, and we'll be on board with Johnny East in the number 51 world-famous Little Bear Foods car out of Dallas, Georgia. That's the view you'll get through the windshield of his machine, as these guys are all trying to put a little toast in the tires here, and they're going to need it as the track is cooling off a little bit. And there's one of those rookie raccoon tails up there. That's done up at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. They make the rookie drivers wear those raccoon tails so the guys behind them know that these are some of the newcomers to the class, but a lot of these guys with a lot of racing experience. There's a good look at the 51 of Johnny East. I want to say congratulations out there to Bobby Green, guy that we spoke to at the top of the show. Brand new grandson, Carson Roberts. Congratulations there, Grandpa, as these guys get set to go green.
What a rivalry.
Oh, man, look how tightly packed they are. They are really clustered together and nervous on the throttle. Coming off of turn number 4.
George Phillips with the jump at the 5 of Ronnie Milford has the speed around the outside. Let's see if he can peel it back down. Saw off the nose. George Phillips, no, still side by side, up on the wall. Little near touch of the tires there. George Phillips asserting his authority early on. This is a guy that likes to stretch the lead, use up all the racetrack, but he's not going to be able to do it. Ronnie Milford kind of swapping sides with him is going to push him out wide. George is really going to have to drive his heart out to keep Ronnie at bay.
On board with Johnny East, that Little Bear Foods camera looking at all the leaders, and I mean, it is a melee up there in front as Phillips has finally gotten his number 3 car down on the low line in front of Milford. And now he can pick his line around the racetrack. He had a little bit of trouble trying to get it down in single file there, but George Phillips, who is a tremendously experienced race car driver, has driven sports cars and a lot of other things. He finds Legends cars to his liking. This is his golf game, whether he admits it or not.
Yeah. And equally as technical is an over-the-road truck driver as well. Probably more stress involved with that than there is going around this racetrack at Lanier. This is the stress relief valve for George Phillips. But the only way he was able to put any distance on Ronnie Milford, Brian, was just to rail that thing into the corner for 2 laps in a row here. He hasn't let up yet. His entrance speeds are just phenomenal out of the number 3 car. George Phillips has the technique here. He's finding some traction right at about the 1/3 mark of the apex of the turns here at Lanier, and able to pick up that throttle really early. Ronnie Milford's kind of going to school on him right now.
Tremendous battle as we're looking now at the 71 of Terry Mathis, and he is the guy really on a march up from deeper in the field as he goes past the 37 of Randy Thornton. Watch that 71. We have been, as Terry Mathis is really getting the job done out here tonight. Look at him pulling away already from Thornton after he made the pass. Now he's going after the second place car there of Ronnie Milford.
Terry Mathis kind of off to a slow start there. Had to overtake a few cars to get up into 3rd, but he has some serious horsepower. Watch that car reel in the 05, Ronnie Milford.
And now the 111. That's Tommy Jordan. And he's working on the 37 of Thornton right now. Here's your battle for second as Terry Mathis goes by and makes it look easy. He goes right past Ronnie Milford. And you got to figure that George Phillips is in trouble now the way Mathis is driving that car.
Mathis just has this suddenly found confidence of the entrance speed here. Kind of dwarfing the entrance speed of George Phillips, but he may be running out of time. It's a big gap there, some 40 yards in between the first 2 cars, but Terry Mathis definitely has hooked up. He's got the setup here. His car is working perfectly.
Whoa, a little bit loose there off the 111 car of Jordan, and now we go deeper in the field. Johnny East has got his hands full back there, and he's got a lot of company from Mike Brannon and some of the others. That's Brannon in the 1 car, and all of my guys are back there in the back. Another indication of just how much fun these Masters racers are. That group that I was talking to, used car salesman, computer salesman, guy in the timber business, a Delta pilot, a convenience store owner, and a fellow that sells boats.
That's a broad mix of guys right there. Johnny East kind of recouping from a big slide early on. He stabbed back into the throttle and it went sideways again, but look at him go. Johnny's got to work on the inside over Mike Brannon in the 1 car. He forces Brannon wide. Kind of a seesaw battle. These cars are both set up identical, but I think they've missed the setup here tonight. Look at Mathis.
Oh, Mathis on Phillips and all over him as he has closed the gap up to the leader, George Phillips. Phillips was trying to run scared and run away, but he hasn't been able to get it done. And now Terry Mathis is right behind him. Phillips, driving a defensive line, is able to hold the lead. Mathis fakes right, and here's where he goes left. He dives down low on the exit and tries to get a run down the back straight. But George Phillips, with all the experience, this over-the-road truck driver has got the wide load sign on right now.
No doubt about it. And George Phillips, you can see him using his mirrors. He's making sure he's going to make Mathis go around the long way. But you'll remember the last time on Fox Sports Net, here goes Mathis. It was George Phillips who kind of got boxed up in traffic. We'll have to see how he handles it here as they approach the lap cars.
George Phillips out in front right now, and if I was Terry Mathis, I'd be a little bit worried. Now he gives him a little nudge, but all he did was loosen himself up there as he had to stand on the brakes and trying to dive down inside on Phillips. You know he's going to close the door on you, and that's what's happened lap after lap to Terry Mathis. He's trying to figure out a way around, but he hasn't done it yet.
He's trying to unnerve George Phillips and force him into an error. You see the smoke out of Mathis' right rear. Another indication that he has, too, chosen the loose setup tonight. Try to absorb some of the traction from this cold racetrack. Phillips not going to have any part of it. He just stands on the gas. His entrance speed is huge. Both these guys are matching up real good right now, and it could be that Mathis has overheated his front right tire working his way through the pack.
George Phillips still holding the lead as Mathis stands on the brakes and gets a little chirp out of the rear tires. They're able to dial in brake bias front and rear. And Mathis also with a little, actually that's more of a puff of smoke out of the exhaust system there. Again, on the overrun a little bit as he lets off the gas, it puffs out a little bit of smoke. No problem for him though as he works down on the inside once again. George Phillips is doing a super job of driving in the lead right now, and Mathis is really worrying him but has not been able to get around.
This is kind of a good testimony to the Masters sportsmanship too. I mean, either one of these guys got a caution.
Caution flying. We got a spin. The number 23 car of Steve Dale has turned it around. The yellow automobile brings out the caution here, and George Phillips, Terry Mathis are going to wool on down. Mathis will be able to think about it a little bit, and there is Steve Dale with the car painted up just like Brandon McElroy's number 23. We'll be right back here, and a restart is in the cards.
Prefer to go Krogering than to any other supermarket in Atlanta? The answer is simple. For goodness sake. Kroger, for goodness sake. Kroger's been a part of the neighborhood for a long time. We've helped with hundreds of Sunday mornings, thousands of supper times, and goodness knows how many late-night snacks. After all these years in Atlanta, we've made some wonderful friends. Kroger, for goodness
sake. Very, very fast.
It's the most fun you'll ever have for the dollars.
Let's go racing.
Stop at Charlotte, watched the shootout, went and ordered a car the next day.
You can get into these things relatively inexpensively and have a real good time.
And they're true race cars. They're not toys. This is the friendliest bunch of race drivers.
It's a family affair. They're absolutely a handful.
We'll learn some stuff, get a grin on, and get a car and go racing.
Has anyone seen Dave?
Hey, Dave.
When you get Wendy's chicken nuggets, you better be careful.
Dave?
They're so good, everyone will want one.
Dave, you in there?
No one's here. Wendy's 99-cent chicken nuggets, all white meat, so they taste great.
Don't forget the nuggets.
Is Wendy's the place to make your sports fantasy come true? Wendy's and Fox Sports Net South are giving away 12 fantasy sports trips in '99. Your next Wendy's repeat can be your ticket to watch your favorite team play a regular season game anywhere in the continental U.S. The Wendy's Sports Fantasy, presented by Fox Sports Net South.
At Lanier National Speedway, we're going to go green here in just a moment in a restart after the first and only caution so far in the Masters Division race. Single file, and man, these guys are going to go bumper to bumper when the green hanky waves.
It's going to get serious, too. George Phillips does not want to lose this race.
Oh, and look at Mathis with a great jump on the restart. Probably the best move he made the whole race. He really stood on the gas, got down inside, and George Phillips is up on the high line. Nothing he can do about it. Mathis comes inside, and here now George Phillips has got to try to drop back down on the low line of the racetrack, and it's going to be tough.
Look at the determination out of the driver in the 3 car. He just won't give an inch to Terry Mathis. Mathis is breaking the wheels loose up the inside of the apex, but watch the entrance speed. Phillips comes in right on the backside of Terry Mathis. Give him a little nudge here up the front straightaway. All etiquette goes out the windows in the Masters class in the closing stages of the race.
Phillips tags him, but Terry Mathis with a beautifully clean pass on the restart. I mean, he got that one done as soon as the green flag started flying. Now George Phillips is trying to do what Mathis was doing earlier, and that is make a pass. The final lap here, and Terry Mathis in a shootout finish here looks as though he may be able to take it if he can just hold on, stay mistake-free for 2 more turns, bring it off the final corner to the line, and he does it. Terry Mathis earns the win after the only caution flag flew out there. George Phillips had been able to hold him off for the entire race, and yep, these guys are saluting one another saying, way to go. Good job by both of them. Everybody else leaves the track, and Terry Mathis heads down towards victory lane. He really made an excellent move on the restart, and what he'll have to show for it is a victory lap and a guest appearance on the David Sadowski Show. Ski's heading down that way as we look at the final results. Ronnie Milford, Tommy Jordan, and Randy Thornton rounded out the top 5. But let's go downstairs and hear from the winner.
George really pushed the pace up early, but you're right there on his tail. Were you surprised to see the caution come out with that spin?
Yeah, we was trying a few other things, see if we could get around him. You know, we come from the back and had come up through the crowd, so luckily get through there with no damage.
Take us through that last lap.
Well, I know the only chance I had was just try to outrun him and hold off the flag, and you know, the car run good. Was able to pull it off the flag, off the restart, and run him around.
Were you using the mirror going into 3 or what?
No, I was just getting what we had. The best thing to do is forget about that mirror when you're running that close.
Heck of a run.
It was. George run me a good, clean race, so that's all you could ask for. We're glad to say. Thank you.
Terry Mathis from 7th to 1st. Here's the restart with 4 laps to go, and that's where he did the business. Got positioned down inside on George Phillips and skated away. Let's go back to ski.
Looks like you had maybe a shot in turn 3 the last lap.
That's about as close as I could get, but once he got by me on that restart, I knew I was going to have to get lucky. He'd have to make a mistake or slip or something. He didn't slip, so
real good show. Real good show.
Yeah, we had a good show. I'm sure we did. I'm sure we both had fun. I haven't talked to him yet, but I will.
All right. Here's a young man named Ray Paproda, a very special driver, coming up next.
Offside, right. Yes! Touchdown!
Where are the games you really want to see? ESPN Game Plan on pay-per-view. See over 100 college football games, your favorite teams from the best conferences, no matter where you live. ESPN Game Plan.
My new book shows you 15,000 government programs you could use to change your life, too. You can get a better job, get an education, or start your own business. Next year, the government's going to spend $350 billion, and those who know about the programs are the ones who get the money.
If I could get $15,000 to go back to school, any woman could do it.
Call 1-800-205-4455.
Shape at any age. Call right now.
Sunday at 9 on Going Deep. They're the best crop of infielders in decades. Now, find out what it takes to become a superstar shortstop. Plus, see what really happens between rounds. Cornermen reveal their secrets. Going Deep, Sunday at 9 on Fox Sports Net.
You're looking at a very special race car driver. An auto accident as a teenager left Ray Paproda without the use of his legs. It didn't take away his love of driving, though, but adapting a race car is a little bit of a different animal. He's got hand controls for throttle, brake, and clutch, and the gear shift lever down between his knees. It makes it a little tough on starts and restarts, but other than that, this guy can wheel it. He works with the Lakeshore Foundation in Birmingham, Alabama, whose mission is to help promote the idea that people with physical challenges can lead normal lives. For Ray Paproda, that means an active life that includes racing.
I was really heavily involved in other forms of wheelchair sports and still compete in basketball. But this was the only thing that I found was pure. I could go head-to-head with my peers, and my peers were able-bodied drivers, and we can compete on the same track with really no accommodations.
A Pro Division driver after just 2 seasons of racing. The number on his car, 110. Ray Paproda gives 110% every time. And there's Ray Paproda out on the racetrack in his 110% automobile. And we're on board with the Lakeshore Foundation driver as he wrestles on the handlebars, not the steering wheel. Trying to put a little temperature in the tires for the start here. 2 young drivers on the front row for this one. Ski talk to the pole sitter.
Jason Hogan on pole for the Pro. What's your chances tonight, partner?
Hopefully pretty good. We got a good group of cars, a bunch of great racers out here, and come out here and run with these guys. I want to race. You've did something then. You got Johnathan, Davenport, and Wesley Thompson, and every one of them's tough, good competitors. It's going to be a tough race.
What kind of strategy do you use coming from the pole? I mean, they can run around the outside of you, can't they?
Sometimes you can, and sometimes you can't. I'm just going to go out there and try to set my own pace and get out there and run my own race and get as fast as I can and try to get away from them, you know.
Right next to him, another young lion, Johnathan Davenport.
Johnathan running outside here of Jason Hogan. What's your strategy on the opening lap?
Well, the opening lap, I guess, would be take the outside since I'm already up there, but if I can't handle that, I guess I'll drop back behind him for a couple laps, see what he's going to do, see what his car's working like, see what mine's doing, and try to make a pass pretty early on.
Now, you're just a fraction of a second off of his qualifying time. What's going to make up the difference in the race?
I guess just whoever made the best adjustment to qualifying to now.
And then how much is traffic going to play a role in winning this one?
Well, really we ain't had much traffic. There's 18 cars tonight, so they should be a pretty good bit of traffic, so we'll just have to wait and see.
16 and 15 years old, respectively, our two front row starters, Jason Hogan and Johnathan Davenport, as we take a look at the starting grid for this division. This is the one that a lot of people pay their money to see here, and Wesley Thompson, another guy that both of them mentioned being tough. Jerry Willingham, of course, is always tough here in the pro class, and there's no shortage of talent in this field, Ski.
No, and Johnathan Davenport, just like George Phillips in the earlier race, he does not want to lose this one. Kind of bragging rights on the season. Who's the fastest at Lanier? Getting ready to go green. We're going to find out shortly.
Jason Hogan with the jump from the inside position, and Johnathan Davenport is already struggling.
Oh, Brian,
with Tim Andrews. Look at this.
Big explosion of Wesley Thompson's engine.
Fire in the hole on the 55 car, and Wesley Thompson brings it to a halt there. He had to have spotted the guys with the fire extinguishers and said, man,
that's a heads-up move.
Yeah, let's get this one out in a hurry.
Tell you what, for that motor to let go like that, that means there's connecting rods sticking through the cases. When it happens on a motorcycle, you're instantly on your helmet. All the oil pours out the bottom of the machine. Wesley Thompson, one of our favorites here tonight. Watch him go in. He may have stood on the rev limiter a little bit too long before his gear shift, over-revved the machine going in. Speculation at this point, but man, that thing let go in a hurry. 4 quarts of oil on the hot exhaust. What do you get? A hibachi.
So Wesley Thompson's going to have to make a change if he's going to continue in the Pro Division race.
Through all the years that carry you take.
Come on, man. Get past it.
To see your family smile.
There are so many ways to love your family, and Kroger is always there to help. Everybody likes their meats served differently. That's why every Kroger has its own meat and seafood specialist to prepare your special orders. So, when you go Krogering, ask one of our experts for help. After all, when it comes to meats, some folks can be pretty fussy.
Hey, what's it gonna take to get you to buy this computer today, huh? Come here, tell you what I'm gonna do. I'll upgrade your Sims to Dims, no charge. You'll even throw in a SCSI card. See how you now, mouse pad. You want the mouse pad? 100% pure real neoprene. Come on, let me talk to you.
The League Championship Series.
Grand Slam!
For action, reaction, and analysis, our starting lineup goes yard.
This ball is mashed.
It's championship coverage with attitude. Catch Fox Sports News Primetime nightly at 10. This is Fox Sports Net.
Welcome back to the Pro Division. Here's what happened to Wesley Thompson. You heard Ski describe it as a hibachi. It was kind of a hand grenade. As the engine on the 55 car went up in flames, he brought it to a halt back there, got the fire put out. And we mentioned make a change. The rules allow a driver to bring out a backup car. Now, Wesley Thompson does not have his own car to get in, but he has borrowed Terry Mathis' car. This is the one that won the Masters Division race just a little while ago, so at least he made a good choice.
I I'll tell you what, Brian, Wesley Thompson, he missed his call, and this guy's a genius. He maybe should have been a brain surgeon. To go back into the pit area, find a car with the hottest set of tires and with the best winning record all night, he jumps into the car that won the previous race. He's got his head on straight.
Terry Mathis and the crew helping him get bolted into that number 71 car, and he goes back out onto the racetrack. This was a little bit earlier. We've already seen him now, and he's in line and in position to try to pull off a win here after what looked like a disaster. We'll go back to the green flag with Jason Hogan and Johnathan Davenport still side by side on the front row, and Wesley Thompson at the back of the field there in the Terry Mathis number 71.
Jason Hogan, again, anticipating that green. They're letting him get a good 10-yard jump on the rest of the field. Johnathan Davenport playing it a little bit too honest. But I've seen this kid Davenport. He can pull off some miraculous driving feats. 49, this kid's got one of the brightest futures out of anybody I've met in the Legends Series. Johnathan Davenport, one of the most aggressive. Jason Hogan, his father in there with the late model stocks. He has a lot of track time. But if you want to go on all-out courage and driving ability, you got to give a nod. Another caution flag. Got to spin on the front straightaway.
This is Wendy Hicks in that CG Clabber Girl car as she takes it for a spin. So our first caution in the Pro Division is out, bringing a great battle for second to a halt between the 75 of Tim Andrews and Johnathan Davenport. Wendy's got it straightened out again. We'll be right back.
Shoppers prefer to go Krogering than to any other supermarket in Atlanta? The answer is simple. For goodness sake. Kroger, for goodness sake. Kroger's been a part of the neighborhood for a long time. We've helped with hundreds of Sunday mornings, thousands of supper times, and goodness knows how many late-night snacks. After all these years in Atlanta, we've made some wonderful friends. Kroger, for goodness sake.
Very, very fast. It's the most fun you'll ever have for the dollars. Let's go racing.
Stop at Charlotte, watched the shootout, went and ordered a car the next day.
You can get into these things relatively inexpensively and have a real good time. And they're true race cars. They're not toys.
This is the friendliest bunch of race drivers.
It's a family affair. They're absolutely a handful.
Cool. Learn some stuff, get a grin on, and get a car and go racing.
Tulane clashes with conference heavyweight East Carolina. Then, the Aggies' vaunted defense battles Josh Heupel and the high-powered Sooners. College football Saturday kicks off at 4 on Fox Sports Net.
Under caution here at Lanier National, Wendy Hicks taking the Clabber Girl car around, and she's kind of been fighting that car all evening here. We saw her in qualifying not have a good run, and in practice she was looking for the handle too.
Yeah, goes into 3 sideways and then kind of works it all the way through the apex. By the time she gets to 4, she's already dizzy.
So the pace car is out on the racetrack. Jason Hogan leads, and the 75 of Tim Andrews did get by, so scoring has put him in second position ahead of Johnathan Davenport. And there you can see how tightly they line up, getting ready to go back to the green flag. Now Hogan will control the restart, and once again he does a great job. Jumps away from the 75 of Tim Andrews, who's now in second spot. Davenport still working the high line there, trying to get back around. Doug Stevens is fourth in line among the leaders.
Well, you know, in the past I've been critical of Davenport's opening race strategy, but tonight it looks conservative. He needs to crack open that throttle a little bit earlier off the corner. Doesn't seem to have the speed out of that car, or everybody else has stepped it up. The 49 car is usually the fastest car on the racetrack. But watch Davenport drive this thing. He can just back it in sideways, step on the gas, and just drive it out. You can see him really pushing hard.
Jason Hogan edging away a little bit. Davenport down low, and another caution flag on the racetrack. And once again, Wendy Hicks loses the handle on the Clabber Girl car. There she is, parked up against the wall and facing the wrong way in turn number 4. And a good look at the CG machine. She takes it off the racetrack. You know, sometimes it's just not your night, and I think Wendy Hicks has wisely decided that rather than fight this car, she's just going to park it. Crew comes over to take a look, and she's getting some help from the officials. Circling under caution again with Jason Hogan, the leader, Tim Andrews second, Johnathan Davenport running in third spot. And what about Wesley Thompson? Well, he's working his way up in that 71 car. Look how many he's already passed. And Ray Paproda in the 110 car, bringing up the rear of the field there. He's also been kind of fighting with the handling of his machine out there tonight. But Wesley Thompson is moved up about 6 or 7 cars from the back of the field.
Jason Hogan again, Brian. See if he jumps this screen. He's anticipating this thing perfectly. It's marginal. He's told the guys that you don't start until you see the green flag wave. Don't go by the stripe on the racetrack. Hogan a little bit more honest that time with it.
Jason Hogan leading, and Tim Andrews working him hard down on the inside. He's got a half a wheel in, nudges a little bit. They go 3 wide, and Davenport may take the lead away from this as both of the other 2 cars got loose. Now Davenport gets into the left front of the 75 of Andrews, and Hogan's caught way on the outside, went from first to third in that little melee, but he's trying to fight it back now. Johnathan Davenport, man, was that a heads-up move by him as he got down on the low line and took the lead away while the other 2 guys were nudging on each other.
I told you, watch this kid. Johnathan just had that thing timed perfectly, waiting for those guys to kind of hit the ball long. He just hits the ball back over the net. Now he's stretching it out. Jason Hogan knows he better get to work quick because Johnathan Davenport's on a roll.
Well, Hogan does punch in and go right back to work. He's closed the gap up just a little bit and left the 75 of Andrews with a couple of car lengths to make up. Best seat in the house, though, is Doug Stevens. He got a front row seat for all of that. And right now, Johnathan Davenport is stretching out a little bit of a lead in the 49 car while everybody else is trying to get their heart rate back down, gather it up again, and see what they can do for the rest of this one.
Your eye on Andrews, though. He's down in low here underneath Jason Hogan. You can see him kind of setting him up the previous corner. He's got the speed and he has the handling to stay with Johnathan Davenport, but it's Jason Hogan that's thrown the Bach into his driving strategy tonight.
Andrews now is clear of Hogan. Let's see if he has anything for the 49 of Davenport. Meanwhile, the 01 of Doug Stevens is taking a look down low on Hogan, too.
Like you say, Doug back there in the right seat, kind of waiting for these guys to slip up. He's got the inside line working. The car seems to be stuck real well on that line.
There goes the 1. Stevens down inside. Can he get third position? And while all this is going on, we have to tell you that Wesley Thompson is marching towards the leaders up from the back of the field after borrowing Terry Mathis' car. You might get a glimpse of it every now and then.
Wesley Thompson, kind of a jack-of-all-trades in the paddock area, which is packed with Legends cars here tonight. Record crowd of racers on hand. The dice for 4th now.
Stevens gets the 3 spot away from Jason Hogan. Hogan's kind of pedaling backwards a little bit as Johnathan Davenport and Tim Andrews begin to stretch away. Let's see now if Doug Stevens in the 01 car can close the gap. There's Johnathan Davenport, who took the lead with a brilliant move.
Finish my thought on Wesley Thompson there. He does set up a lot of the race cars, and I'll guarantee you he's had a hand into the Terry Mathis car, so he's familiar with the handling, but once again, everything's all big spin on the front straight.
That's the 24, no, that's the 91 car. I think Dank Chapman takes the 91 car down into the inside wall, and this is a heck of a way to celebrate your birthday. We heard some cake and candles were being passed around out there in the pit area for Dank Chapman, but it looks like the night's over for him. He'll get an early celebration. But not much of a present. We'll be right back.
Through all the years the care you take.
Come on, man. Get past it.
To see your family smile.
There are so many ways to love your family, and Kroger is always there to help.
Kroger, yes! For goodness sake.
Everybody likes their meats served differently. That's why every Kroger has its own meat and seafood specialist to prepare your special orders. So, when you go Krogering, ask one of our experts for help. After all, when it comes to meats, some folks can be pretty fussy.
I'm his biggest fan. What I like best is his aggressive play. He's mean. In fact, I owe my yacht, my beach house, solid gold, and my wife's various surgeries, all to the out-of-town referrals that he sends my way. See this gap? You could drive a town car through it. Incidentally, I just bought one, fully loaded, drives like a dream.
Tonight on Fox Sports News Primetime, the stage is set for a fall classic. Get the latest as the Yankees and Braves prepare for the World Series. Plus, don't call it a comeback. Iron Mike gets ready to rumble. Then the NFL puts this talented Ram out to pasture. And this Seminoles' legal troubles may not be over after all. 10 on the last word. Jim Rome goes one-on-one with the Raiders' Eric Allen. Get the last word on pro football. Fox Sports News Primetime, followed by the last word tonight starting at 10.
Well, that was exciting, and if you think that was, just wait. There's going to be more here as the pro division is far from over, and with so much at stake and so much pride and ability, these guys are going to give us a show right to the checkered flag. Johnathan Davenport leads them away with Doug Stevens in second spot.
Jason Hogan kind of got a roll on Davenport on that green flag wave. Johnathan Davenport definitely played it honest. No question about that one. Good start out of him.
Davenport, your leader. Jason Hogan, who had been slipping backwards a little bit, seems to have regained his composure a little bit, or else he's figured out a way to drive around whatever handling problem was taking him out of the lead and towards the rear. So now he's pretty firmly settled in third spot while Davenport leads. The 0-1 of Doug Stevens is sitting second.
Davenport got a mirror full of Doug Stevens. But not altering his line, not changing too much to try to defend it. He's still using the outside wall as his entrance point to turn into turn one. Big speed through 3.
And there is Wesley Thompson battling for 6th. Give him 6th. Driving Terry Mathis's Masters Division winning car. This guy, we told you he was rolling, and there you can see it. He goes around James Insco. And now we are back up front in the battle for the lead. Top 4 cars.
Ooh, and it's quite a battle. They're rubbing tires.
Oh, man.
Davenport gets pushed wide. Now watch Jason Hogan moving towards the inside. He had a notion to take the lead, but backed off on it. And Andrews is back there waiting for all 3 of these guys to drift wide. Any mistake by any one of the front lead cars, and Andrews would be all over him.
Give Doug Stevens the lead for the last lap, and he still holds it right in the middle of the turn while Hogan tries to go low. Davenport tries to go high, and we have got quite some goings-on here at Lanier National. The top 5 cars, and Wesley Thompson is right behind them.
Man, Wesley with a nice slide all the way out to the wall. I don't think it cost him any speed because he just stayed on the gas. Look at Hogan up the inside. Oh, he's even up with him.
Jason Hogan has the lead. Let's see if he can hold it across the line. We got to call that a dead heat on the final lap as Jason Hogan goes to the front. And look, there goes Johnathan Davenport up into the marbles.
Too bad.
He holds it off the wall, and that hands Wesley Thompson 5th place, but they're not done yet. Look at the 75 of Andrews coming down inside, but he comes up just a half a car short. Jason Hogan takes the win, and what an exciting finish in the pro division as Johnathan Davenport almost goes into the wall on the final lap, and Jason Hogan, yes, young man, you can celebrate a tremendous victory here tonight. What a great win by Jason Hogan.
I'm going to get rolling down here, Brian, but I'll tell you what, the kid said if he could beat this field, he's accomplished something, and he did. That's why he's so psyched. I'm out of here for a minute.
All right, David Sadowski heading down towards victory lane. Look out, Ski. He's still doing donuts out there, and he's got her parked backwards on the checkerboards, and everybody wants to run over and congratulate Jason Hogan for his win here this evening in the pro division. What a race for Wesley Thompson, too, as he came up, and then watch Johnathan Davenport goes sliding up towards the wall, and he got into the top 5 after coming back. There's Ski getting ready to talk to the winner.
Jason Hogan with his father on hand here. Just a heck of a drive. Look at the kids. You can't be any more excited. That was just a masterful job of driving. Come here, kid. Did you ever think that race was going to go your way?
Man, I don't know. This car, it went bad on me there after the start, and I just drove my heart out for these guys. This is probably my last race in the Legend car, and I just had to win it. It come back to me after the cautions, and shoot, man, that's the best race I've ever been in. Congratulations to all the guys. Mitchell Barrett, Tommy Hogan, Hogan Motorsports, Hogan Lumber, Hardy Chevrolet. Man, I'm running out of breath. Anybody I forgot to thank? I'm sorry. Thank y'all. Love y'all all. Thank God. Woo!
What's it feel like, man, after that last lap? You had a little bit of traffic, 4 abreast going into turn 3.
Man, I just stuck her in there and held on. I didn't know what was going to happen, but I just did all I could do right there.
Well, first Casey Atwood goes from Legends to Busch. This young 16-year-old is headed that way.
Finding a good business consultant was easy with the Real Yellow Pages. Now I need a good idea where to meet for lunch. They even show their menu. Your credentials really impress me.
Thanks, Dixie. Okay. First location is vital, then we'll determine necessary capital improvements, depreciation, analyze staffing factor, and merchandise mix, inventory control, and replacement, which of course will impact on turnover speed. Any questions so far?
The Real Yellow Pages from Bell South. Get an idea.
Do you charge by the hour or by the word?
Somewhere lies the greatest of all trails. It has blue skies, gray skies, and black skies. It's made of rock, dirt, concrete, and sometimes nothing but air. No one knows where it starts or where it ends. If you ever come across this trail, keep it to yourself. I've got a whole life left to search.
(936-3311) now.
Sometimes you get a chance to discover greatness just a little bit before everyone else does. Discover tomorrow's stars at the Nike Tour Championship.
Well, I'm still trying to get my heart rate down after that exciting finish in the Pro Division here at the Dixie Legends World Challenge. Lanier National Speedway is still buzzing over that one, and there is no shortage of action yet to come here in our show. We're certainly glad that you could join us. I'm Brian Trevor and David Sadowski. There are the results from the Pro Division class. Jason Hogan and Wesley Thompson rounding out the top 5. What a great run to the front that he had, overshadowed only by the race for the win between Jason Hogan and the 75 of Tim Andrews. Hogan holding on to the lead. Andrews with a desperate dive inside comes up a half car length short. Let's hear from him.
Going down in turn 1, I knew Hogan and Doug were going to go in there real hard and run each other real hard. And I was waiting on both of them to kind of bottle each other up, and I was going to go out there and try and get the win out of it.
Are you satisfied with second place?
Yeah, but first place will always be better.
Well, the battle for the lead came at the expense of Johnathan Davenport. While Hogan goes inside on Doug Stevens and Tim Andrews is there, Johnathan Davenport takes it for a ride. Let's go back down and hear from him.
But car just got tighter and tighter, and Doug, he got up under me, and I had to get hung out on the outside, and tires just got real hot, and it just ain't much you can do, and tires get hot, and just kind of spun it out over there.
So Jason Hogan, in what he says is his last appearance in a Legends car, comes up a winner, and there's more than a little cause for celebration by that young man. Well, now the mini stocks are lined up here at Lanier, and these cars always produce a lot of action. And yes, some of the crowd will come to their feet as they fire up the engines on these mini stock cars. What a great job track owner Dave Lanier has done here in conjunction with Tom Brown, the promoter of the Legends program, and bringing a super night of racing, the Williams Brothers Lumber Fall Classic. As we take a look at the starting grid for the mini stock division, John Nash with the pole position. Jason Huff will start outside and ski. It has been a fun night already, but I can only look forward to the kind of entertainment these guys provide.
Yeah, Ford Pinto, the model of choice. There's Opel Mantas out there, 4-cylinder machines, wide open throttles, and lots of corner speed and lots of banging.
Well, my favorite is the purple Fiat starting near the back of the field. You'll get a look at it here as a very unusual mix of machines.
Trevor, you always choose the oddball.
You got to wonder where the guy gets parts.
I know it.
But in any case, we're in for a great time here. The fans are enjoying an evening, a beautiful fall evening here as racing continues at Lanier National Speedway, one of the premier racetracks in this part of the country. A high bank oval set down in a natural bowl. There isn't a bad seat in the house, and they're pressed up against the fences, parked on the hillsides. There's my Fiat right there, the number 4 car. We'll be on board here tonight with the 20 car and its driver, Thomas Ross. He's steering the car, and you're going along for a ride in the Dawsonville pool room entry. And that's the look that you will get through the windshield as he circles the racetrack here on the warm-up laps. And we'll also see a view from the 7 car of Rob Marshall as he is alongside the 0-0 of Jeff Shepard there. Another interesting paint job on that car. Purple primer. You see a lot of kind of fun-looking stuff here as these guys decorate the cars up with whatever they have left over in the back of the shop.
Can't see the car from the inside. They just want it to work good around the racetrack.
And there you can see as the mini stock circle the track, getting ready to go green. Behind the pole sitter and outside front row is Jason Huff as they get the engines revved up and ready to go. John Nash in the 10 car will take them to green flag coming off of turn number 4. And we're getting ready to go green.
Somebody's sneaking.
Yep, Jason Bates sneaking up alongside. The green flag does not wave. And naturally,
we got melee.
This is a mess. Now, John Nash never really got on the gas. I guess he knew there would not be a start, but everybody else in the back, they're just, I don't know, they're thinking everybody's going to go. They time a move, stand on the gas, and we got a mess.
Big check up there going into turn 1. Man, the 911, the 46.
Yep. We got a big 5-car pileup here. Only 1 car is moving out of this bunch. Now they all start to get into a little bit of action. John Nash comes around to take a look, and that kind of started when Jason Bates was sneaking up along the wall there, and the flagman never threw the green. Here's another look at it. Bates is already ahead of the leader, but the green flag never flew. Then everybody starts checking up, and that's where the mess happened. You see the 17 getting involved, Randy Beacon's car.
Thomas Ross going fast and low up the inside with the onboard camera.
Bill Ernest in the 11, the red car there is parked. And he's climbing out. Apparently the damage is not going to allow him to continue. We'll sort it out and come right back.
Prefer to go Krogering than to any other supermarket in Atlanta? The answer is simple. For goodness sake. Kroger, for goodness sake. Kroger's been a part of the neighborhood for a long time. We've helped with hundreds of Sunday mornings, thousands of supper times, and goodness knows how many late-night snacks. After all these years in Atlanta, we've made some wonderful friends. Kroger, for goodness sake.
I get here at 6 a.m. I got the machinery. I got bottles. I got a truck like this 8 hours a day.
I get headaches. There's a reason Goodies works quickly to stop headaches. It's a powder, so it's like it's halfway to your headache before you even take it, to get rid of pain fast.
I take Goodies. That headache is no deposit, no return.
Goodies. It gets the job done.
NFL This Morning, a full hour of pregame power.
I think we're this year's version of the Falcons.
Join Chris, Marv, Jackie, and Chris, plus the Fox NFL Sunday Gang. NFL This Morning on Fox Sports Net, followed by Fox NFL Sunday on your local Fox affiliate.
Another look as the 22 car slides down inside Jason Bates, and the melee ensues here. That's always tough when you try to get a race started, Ski.
Well, these guys are so equal, too, in the horsepower output. You kind of have to jump the start to set the order for the day. positions really have to be fought for. And most of what is done on the first lap. I think there's some stagger in that 44.
I would say so, as now John Nash and Jason Huff get set to do it again. And Jason Bates is going to stay behind them at least till the green flag flies this time, but he is awful impatient, and he's quickly up into second position.
John Nash with a big old puff of smoke as he took the green. He'll quickly work his way to the outside, generate as much momentum as he can the first 2 laps, try to keep that thing pinned for the remainder.
And trying to keep traction with these little skinny DOT tires. Nash's car leaning pretty hard to the right. A little bit of tire smoke until the tires come up to temperature. He's being pushed hard by Bates already, and Jason Huff back in 3rd spot. I'm just happy that my Fiat didn't go down in that melee.
Randy Beacon.
Yeah, Randy Beacon showing some sparks.
Part of that first turn crash there. His restart's proven to be a little bit difficult for him to turn it in. Car pushing wide. It's another Fiat in the field. That is a Fiat, isn't it, Ryan? It's got so many dents on it, you can't even recognize it.
Sometimes it is pretty tough to tell. As John Nash is out in front, Jason Huff is in 3rd spot, and Jason Bates in the 22 car is right in between them. We're seeing Joe Appling in the 5 car starting to come up a little bit. There he is, trailing the 3 leaders. And Nash is starting to pull away a little bit. He's got the tires up, heated up where he wants them. He's found the line around the racetrack. One of those things lean hard going into the corner, but they sure do stick. Oh, Bates losing the handle.
Major Rockford slide around the outside of turn 4 there. He allows Jason Huff to go through. He just progressively kept getting wider and wider and didn't slow down to bring the car back in. And Huff took advantage of it and runs in 3rd.
So did Appling.
Sorry,
in the
second.
5 car.
Second.
Huff in 2nd, Appling 3rd. They both went by as he slid it up towards the wall there. But Bates has got it gathered up again now. Let's see if he can come back on him here. Meanwhile, John Nash, the pole sitter, class of the field right now, as he's stretching out a little bit of a lead. The battle really is for 2nd place between Jason Huff and Joe Appling.
Appling putting the pressure on from the outside. Hood flapping in the breeze, but watch right at mid-corner. Come up bumper to bumper. You can tell he's letting out of the gas so he can use that wide line, just continually setting up the 44 of Jason Huff.
That hood flapping has got to be a little bit of a distraction if Huff is looking back at him at all. That thing looks like it's talking to him.
Look at Nash, though, just undaunted by what's ahead of him and what's behind him, just business as usual. You can always tell the guys that win a lot in this class, the cars are unmarked.
There comes John Nash working traffic and not paying a lot of attention. He goes around Chuck Waldrop. There's my Fiat, the number 4. Didn't get quite enough parts put in that one for tonight. And the 0-0 car, Jeff Shepard's purple machine going a lap down. We're on board now with Thomas Ross in the 20 car. You can see
bumpy ride.
Yeah, it's a bumpy ride, all right. And it looks like the car's handling pretty well, but probably got a lot of air pressure in those tires. Try to hold on to it because he's got traffic ahead of him.
Quite a bit of glare on the windscreens too. We saw earlier the screen actually for the windshield in the Legends cars. These guys have got a few blind spots around Lanier with the lights on. It makes it quite difficult to ride. You can see the camera struggling to focus because of that light. You can imagine what it's like underneath the helmet with, again, another plexiglass shield you're looking through.
Running in 4th spot, I believe, looking at the 3 lead cars in front of him, and there's all kinds of motion up there. A little bit of a scary moment. And as they come up on the lap car number 7, that's Rob Marshall. Seeing Rob Marshall's onboard camera now. He's caught in a little bit of a revolving door as the 3 lead cars go by him.
He's getting the blue flag on the front straight. You can see Marshall moving over, letting the leaders through. Good sportsmanship being exercised there out of Marshall.
The next guy behind him should be Thomas Ross, as Marshall is trying to hold his line. And there comes Ross around on the inside. We go back to the leader. 10 car of John Nash, and there is Joe Appling in the 5. Some good-looking race cars out here in mini stock. Some of these guys obviously have a little more time to cosmetically prepare the car, where we know the concentration is on getting the car to work. First make it work, then make it look good if you have time.
Right. Definitely definitely an affordable way to go racing.
And a fun way to go racing.
Definitely, yeah. These guys grooming their skills out here at the Lanier Speedway, working their way up through the ranks.
Good battle just out of the top 5 between the 01 of Ed Pugh, who gets big time sideways right in front of Kurt Britt's number 38 car. And they're still banging on each other.
Just not enough steam to get away there. Trying to carry that momentum I spoke of earlier into the corner. These guys are casually backing it in and staying to wide open throttle.
Huff and Appling still having a pretty good scrap for 3rd spot as John Nash drives away. He's coming up on a little bit of traffic right now, but he has definitely had the clean line around the track. Jason Huff still doing okay with Joe Appling back there. That's 2nd and 3rd place on the racetrack. There's your leader.
John Nash, you see him just throw that car into the turn. Take about a 180-degree swing on the steering wheel. We'll see if he can watch his left hand. Just throws it in there.
Driving by the Fiat of Chuck Waldrop. He just went past Bass Hefner's 15 car, and Nash is really circling this racetrack in a hurry.
I think he's got a few laps around here, Brian. That car is not moving off the line at all. It's just stuck.
He's working up on the back bumper of Trace Embry, who was caught up in the crash at the 9 car. We go back to the battle for 2nd. There goes the leader past Embry. And Embry's car is definitely handling a little badly after being caught up in that first lap crash. But John Nash is driving away from the field here. There is still a good battle for 2nd going on behind him. And the wear and tear is starting to show on some of these cars. It looks like Huff may finally have the measure, really, of Appling, who's starting to fade a little bit. Could be that he's losing power, or just the tires are going away on him, or a combination of both. Once again, inside on Trace Embry, and then Huff gets a little sideways.
Huff's able to maintain a low line there, right? And Joe Appling was having, last lap here, Joe Appling was having a tough time keeping it down low. It's going to be Nash all the way to the checkered.
It should be a parade lap, really, for John Nash as he comes out of turn number 4 with clean racetrack in front of him. He'll have plenty of time to salute the crowd and see the checkered flag as Jason Huff holds off Joe Appling. Thomas Ross crosses the line at 4th spot, and Kurt Britt was able to get up into 5th before it was all over. But John Nash wins the mini stock main event here tonight at Lanier National Speedway with a very workmanlike effort, starting from the pole and unchallenged all the way to the finish line. David Sadowski has laced up his sneakers and heading down towards victory lane. It looks like John Nash will get there first, but shortly thereafter, it'll be David Sadowski, and we'll hear from the winner. As John Nash pulls the 10 car, Jones Auto Parts entry into victory lane. We take a look at the top 5. We ran them down for you a moment ago. Nash, Huff, and Appling with a good battle. Thomas Ross carrying our onboard camera just 1 spot ahead of Kurt Britt to the finish line. Let's go downstairs to David Sadowski with the winner.
John Nash, helmet removed, coming out of the car, the winner of our mini stock event. John, that was just a plain runaway.
Yeah, that's the way I like it. Yeah, I got a good start in the heat race and all. I got up there and of course I won the heat race, and it set me on pole for the race. And I thought Jason Bates would give me some trouble there for a while, but it worked out.
Yeah, heck of a run. Good job.
I appreciate it.
Mini stocks and now late models. That's next.
Through all the years the care you take.
Come on, man. Get past it.
To see your family smile.
Oh. There are so many ways to love your family, and Kroger's always there to help.
Kroger, yes! For goodness sake.
Very, very fast.
It's the most fun you'll ever have for the dollars.
Let's go racing.
Stop at Charlotte, watched the shootout, went and ordered a car the next day.
You can get into these things relatively inexpensively and have a real good time.
And they're true race cars. They're not toys. This is the friendliest bunch of race drivers.
It's a family affair. They're absolutely a handful.
We'll learn some stuff, get a grin on, and get a car and go racing.
Has anyone seen Dave?
Hey, Dave.
When you get Wendy's chicken nuggets, you better be careful.
Dave?
They're so good, everyone will want one.
Dave,
You in there?
No, no one's here.
Wendy's 99-cent chicken nuggets, all white meat, so they taste great.
Don't forget the nuggets.
Is Wendy's the place to make your sports fantasy come true? Wendy's and Fox Sports Net South are giving away 12 fantasy sports trips in '99. Your next Wendy's receipt can be your ticket to watch your favorite team play a regular season game anywhere in the continental U.S. The Wendy's Sports Fantasy, presented by Fox Sports Net South.
Welcome back to Lanier National with late model stocks on the track. Pole sitter for this one, Charles Shoemaker. We met that young man. He's driving the number 8 car up front and will control the start when they get ready to go green. But this is a lot of horsepower on Lanier National Racetrack, big V8 motors. And these guys are going to be the fastest cars that we will see in our show here tonight. Shane Chastain in the number 3 car.
That's Dale Earnhardt look-alike there, Hardy Chevrolet.
And the 16 is right there with him, too. That's Tom Hardy. As we take a look at the starting grid, Shoemaker and Chastain will start up front. 2 young drivers. Hardy will be third. Rob Baldy will be on the outside of row number 2 when they line up side by side. That's not Tony Bennett, the singer. That's Tony Bennett, the race car driver, former track champion here at Lanier National. As we take a look at the rest of the starting field, the 00 car there will, we have another 00, and it's not the same guy. That's Stacy Long. We see Mark Wingo. That's a racing family from these parts. There are 3 or 4 brothers in the Wingo family. All of them race, and tonight it's Mark's turn to take the wheel. All the way back through the field of this late model stock car race, and a lot of the fans have come here to watch this one for sure.
12 rows of cars. Keith Riley rounding out the grid here, Brian. Watch Shoemaker from the pole.
Kind of a surprise pole sitter. He put in a very fast lap and raised a few eyebrows by putting that number 8 car on the pole for tonight's race. And these guys are trying to get the heat of the racing slicks out there.
The officials also making sure the track is in A1 condition here. There's been a lot of racing tonight, a lot of action, a lot of debris on the racetrack. Wesley Thompson, we saw earlier, littering the turn 1 area with oil. There's still a lot of oil dry down there.
We'll be on board with Paul Kelly tonight in the Performance Cryogenics entry number 24. So you'll get a look through the windshield as he gets set to go racing here. The officials are signaling that the start is imminent.
Cryogenics, a new technique, not really new, but a technique being used throughout the ranks of club racing, automobiles as well as motorcycles, freezing engine parts, tightening the molecular structure of the crankshafts and connecting rods. It enables you to run tighter tolerances and thinner oil, which is all about making horsepower. Performance Cryogenics.
It's pretty high tech, but then racing is very high tech all the way across the board. These cars may appear to be a little primitive. They have, small block Chevy engines. Those have been around for a long time, but making them go is a science. And right now we have a quick jump on the outside. That's not going to work. Shane Chastain with a super jump there as he anticipated the drop of the green, and pole sitter Charles Shoemaker knows that they're going to bring him back and make him do it again.
Charles just kind of giggling. He's like, man, I didn't work so hard to get pole to have that kind of a move pulled on me. He didn't even get on the throttle.
From first to, what, 6th?
Yeah.
Before the green flag ever dropped. Now he resumes his position up towards the front of the field. The 07 of Rob Baldy there was one of the guys that went with Shane Chastain, who stood on the gas. And let's take another look at it.
You look at Shoemaker, he doesn't even step on the gas. It just makes it real obvious that Shane Chastain is going to get the jump on that. And the officials will have to make a decision here, Brian.
Well, they will. Tom Hardy really had to check up in a hurry as he was right behind the pole-sitting car number 8. He almost made contact with his 16 car against the back bumper of the 8. Pole-sitter Charles Shoemaker now very calmly putting his car in position, and they're lined up double file. The officials have said, okay, guys, once more with feeling.
Yeah, it's showing a little bit of grace towards Chastain to allow him to continue to start from the front row.
Well, he's probably learned his lesson, knows he won't get away with that twice. So Charles Shoemaker and Shane Chastain. Well, there's a lot of butterflies out here tonight. These guys have been waiting a long time to go racing. Once again, Chastain with a great jump. And this time, the green flag does fly, and he got away with that one by having a very quick foot on the throttle. He anticipated the start, and away he goes.
Might have been starting off a gear lower than Shoemaker, too. Shoemaker just didn't have the jump from the 10 to 15 mile an hour rolling start. Shane Chastain just set sail right there. He's even got the jib up on the front of that one. He's already out to about a 4-car length lead in 1 lap.
Rob Baldy and Tom Hardy side by side in 3rd and 4th spot. The pole sitter Shoemaker in 2nd. Shane Chastain is your leader in the late models here at Lanier National.
Tom Hardy with a position over Rob Baldy up the inside. Hardy's kind of set his sights on Shoemaker, but he just can't get the open drive off of the turns there. Hardy blocking his run.
It's two-groove racing at its very best here tonight at Lanier National. As you can see, the 07 on the outside, Rob Baldy making that groove work, and Tom Hardy equally efficient down low, even though he's got a shorter way around the racetrack. He's got to hold out of the gas a little bit while Baldy can let it run a little bit freer, but right now it looks like the short line around the track's the one that's going to work as Tom Hardy firmly parks in 3rd spot. Baldy has to give it up. Yep.
Still using that outside line.
We're slowing on the racetrack. We've got a caution flag flying out here, and it is because we have a spin down in the turn 4 area. And the first caution of the night flies here at Lanier National with the 22 car facing the wrong way. Kevin Herbert. Get it going again under the watchful eye of all the officials.
Just narrowly missed smacking the inside wall. Got it hunkered down in time.
Well, he's got to wait for the traffic to pass by. He'll restart at the back of the field. We're under caution here at the Williams Brothers Fall Classic at Lanier.
Everybody likes their meats served differently. That's why every Kroger has its own meat and seafood specialist to prepare your special orders. So, when you go Krogering, ask one of our experts for help. After all, when it comes to meats, some folks can be pretty fussy. Prefer to go Krogering than to any other supermarket in Atlanta? The answer is simple. For goodness sake. Kroger, for goodness sake.
My dog grooming shop is nice and quiet until we open. Then I get a headache. BC stops my headaches fast, so I can stay on schedule and make it through all my appointments. BC powder! BC stops my backaches fast, too. BC works hard so you can too.
Under caution here at Lanier National, still waving as they get everybody lined up and repositioned for the restart. You can see the officials pointing at a couple of guys who are out of position. So until they're lined up the way they're supposed to be, we will not go back to racing here. The incident brought out by a spin over in the turn 4 area by the 22 car, Kevin Herbert. He was able to get his car pointed in the right direction without any further damage, but you get a little sense of what is going to happen here as these guys are going after it awful hard. They've got a lot of horsepower in hand, and things happen quickly.
And the guys that are running towards the back know that they have to get a good jump on this green flag. It's kind of hard to look across the racetrack from mid-pack. The race is in the driver's meeting. The race does have to start when the green flag waves. There's a yellow stripe across the racetrack. A lot of confusion on that, whether you had to start when you hit the stripe or start when the green flag is waved. And here we go. Shane Chastain times it again perfectly.
Charles Shoemaker drops into 2nd. No racing going on from a single file restart. 3rd place very firmly held by Tom Hardy. And Rob Baldy has slipped back into 4th spot. So these guys are going to take a lap or two to kind of get their momentum going again, and then we'll see a little more side-by-side racing. Shane Chastain has been practicing his starts, apparently. He made a false one, he made a good one, and he's held the lead ever since the second. Well, actually, the first time the green flag did actually wave. The first time they didn't wave the flag on him. Deeper in the field, there's our 24 car, Paul Kelly, carrying the onboard camera there. Just trying to get the handling of his car together, trying to drive around set it up just a little bit wrong. You know, the track changes over the course of the evening. They qualified several hours ago, and clearly the track conditions are different. Now we've got a little challenge down on the inside, and Tom Hardy sends Shoemaker for a spin, and the action is not done yet. We're seeing even more there as Tony Bennett takes the 42 car around. But it is Charles Shoemaker who came out on the worst end of that deal as he's pointing the wrong way on the racetrack, getting some help from Tom Hardy in a spin.
Hardy just matching up the left rear tire of Shoemaker's car. Shoemaker just kind of got out of the gas a little bit hard. Looked like he could have saved that if he drove through it, but backed out, and the car came around pretty violent, pretty quick. But Hardy, that's just where they step out of the car and they say it's one of them racing incidents.
Well, you can pull a string in the back of a race car driver and he'll say one of them racing deals just about every time. Also caught up in that with Tim Dobbs in the 61. Let's take another look at it here. As you can see, there's the contact, there's the spin. Here comes the aftermath.
Here comes the motorcycle racer recanting his statement. It looked like Hardy got in there a little bit more solid on the slow motion replay than I had initially thought. Shoemaker really couldn't do much with that.
61 of Tim Dobbs was parked down against the wall. The 11 of Steve Reese got caught up in it. We're still under caution, but we'll...
English Premier League soccer is skill. English Premier League soccer is power. English Premier League soccer is passion. English Premier League soccer is here on pay-per-view.
Simply glorious!
Superstars and super clubs battle from the home of soccer. Premier League newcomers Watford look to contain Hamilton Ricard and offensive juggernaut Middlesbrough.
Hi, I'm here in Washington, D.C. to let women know that the government has quota programs for women entrepreneurs to get money to start or expand a business.
I got over $2 million in government contracts with my training company.
Listen, women can get grants, loans, contracts, free help to start any kind of business. How much a contract?
$199,000.
Great! Call me and I'll show you what you can get too.
Call 1-800-524-9977. That's 1-800-524-9977. Money back guaranteed if not completely satisfied.
Be direct. Dell.
Sunday at 9 on Going Deep. They're the best crop of infielders in decades. Now, find out what it takes to become a superstar shortstop. Plus, see what really happens between rounds. Cornermen reveal their secrets. Going Deep, Sunday at 9 on Fox Sports Net.
Back out on the racetrack, the leader, Shane Chastain, is there. The 07 of Rob Baldy is there. And there's a little bit of confusion as we get set to go back to green. What happened was they sent the 16 of Tom Hardy to the back of the field. Charles Shoemaker thought he should start from the front, but then they sent him to the back as well. You can't spin out and then start from your old position again. So now we go racing, but not for long, as Shane Chastain woes it on down. And we've got another incident out there on the racetrack as the 60 of Devin Voiles brings out another quick caution without damage to his car, but nevertheless, the yellow flag's flying.
Had a talk with Devin earlier. The essential privateer of the late model ranks. Nice fella.
Well, he bought one number and made another one out of duct tape, so you can tell this is a guy running on a budget here, but nevertheless, he's out there racing with these guys that have maybe a little more money than he does.
Yeah, somebody needs to step up and sponsor that kid, though. He's got a good head on his shoulders. Car's just prepared meticulously. But in need of a sponsor, as you can see. Put your name on that car and you make it on Fox Sports Net.
There you go. Phones are ringing now. So we'll get set to do it all over again with Shane Chastain up front and Rob Baldy in second spot. The guy really kind of on the move out here right now is the 0-0 of Stacy Long, as we keep seeing him edge up through the standings on our scoring. And Shane Chastain takes him back to the green flag. Baldy dropped back a few positions, and you can see a long single file line of cars, and in the back of the field are Charles Shoemaker and Tom Hardy, involved in the incident a while ago.
Well, you can tell on that restart, Baldy was in the back of Chastain's car. He's saying, come on, let's go, let's go. He hit the back of Shane Chastain's car. It cost him about 10 car lengths on that restart, basically helping Chastain get a little nudge on the green.
17 of Jamie Stevens inherits the number 3 spot on the racetrack right now. Good look at green and black car. The leader right now is Shane Chastain in that 3.
He just needs speeds, get a race here with minimal cautions. He'll have it made. He's got the start figured out. Here we go, another one.
Oh, another caution flag flying and a car facing backwards on the racetrack.
Again? No, it isn't. The car looks like Devin Boyles. That's the 34.
34 car this time that brings out the caution flag, and the scorekeepers will blame this one on Richard Graves as he gets the car pointed in the right direction, leaves a little stripe on the racetrack, but caution-filled action so far, including an incident that took out a couple of the top 3 automobiles in this late model race. There you can see some damage to the 11 car that was in an earlier incident there. But now he's got the hood flapping, and the officials will be watching that too. It might be a black flag situation for Steve Reese in the 11.
He's going to have a handful going into turn 1, right in the line of sight. Well, actually, it might block the glare that the spotlights are causing on the racetrack, so he might have the hot setup, Brian. Now they're going to have to black flag him in and either repin that. Yeah, hitch pin on the hood definitely snapped off. See the white mark on the front where he made contact.
He got caught up in that first incident down inside on the wall there as his way was blocked, and he tried to get it slowed down but couldn't quite do it. We'll get set to go back to the green flag right now. Shane Chastain is your leader.
Jamie Stevens again in 3rd place, working his way up. These cautions have played into his hand tonight.
Shane Chastain getting the jump. He has not been challenged on a restart or a start for that matter all evening long. Now you can see up that Stacy Long.
Oh, big melee, Brian.
Another mess on the racetrack. And once again, the 42 cars caught up in it. That's the 2nd time tonight for an incident not caused by, but involving Tony Bennett. We also see the 18 car of Otis Brooks up there on the racetrack, and steam and smoke flying all over the place. We're under caution once again. Here we go.
Keep your eye on the 34 here coming in late.
And all kinds of activity out there. Look at look at this guy. The 34 car goes around, and just like Ace Ventura, like a glove, he parks it without getting a scratch. We have got a lot of damaged race cars out there on the track, not the least of which was the 99 car. They got caught up in that one, Joey Perry. But we're going to go back to green. They clean it up pretty quick here. Everybody gets faced the right way. And Shane Chastain, once again, unchallenged for the restart. But Rob Baldy is right there, and you've got to be worried if you're either of those 2 guys about Stacy Long. He has really charged up through the field into 3rd.
All 3 cars up front, definitely capable of winning this race. Shane Chastain, the hole shot master, able to run it pretty hard there. But it's Baldy right now that I would be concerned with if I was Shane Chastain. He's had a mirror full of them all night long. Big speed in the corners out of Baldy. Just to drive off the corner, it looks like Chastain has about a 1/4 of a horsepower more than Baldy, and that's enough to make the difference here at Lanier.
A couple of those cars involved in the action are out of the race, both Tony Bennett and Joey Perry. Tough break from Perry. He was carrying a new sponsor here tonight, Locos, and he was also running one of the only Ron Hornaday chassis out here at Lanier, one of those Victory Circle chassis that Ron Hornaday has made popular. Shane Chastain right now.
Brian.
Oh boy, another one, and this time it's the 61 going around, and caution will not come out here apparently as
they got it hooked back up and back in the right direction. That was very rapid recovery.
Tim Dobbs doing a good job of getting the car turned around without bringing out a caution, so we're still racing, and we're looking at the 16 of Tom Hardy, who's chugging his way up through the field. He's just in front of the 24 of Paul Kelly, and they're running just out of the top 10, these guys. So after causing an incident, Tom Hardy is on the move again.
Tom Hardy serving his debt to society and still paying the price for it. I think he could have ran up front with Chastain and pressured him a little bit more. Right now the pressure's coming from the 07 of Baldy, but Chastain's not really responded to the pressure. His car has not been offline once throughout the race. He's pegged every restart.
Rob Baldy in second, and there we see the 24 and the 16, and another caution comes out. This time it's the 60 once again. It's Devin Boyles. This time it really is Devin Boyles. Brings out a caution. We were just looking at the 24 of Paul Kelly, and he was up into 11th spot at that point.
Devin having a tough time with turn 4. He's trying to accelerate perhaps a little bit too early off the corner. You can see him already around. Oh, it looks like he may have had some help that time, though, Brian.
Well, sometimes it happens, but we'll be back with more late model action from Lanier.
Through all the years the care you take.
Come on, man. Get past it.
To see your family smile.
There are so many ways to love your family, and Kroger's always there to help.
Kroger, yes! For goodness sake.
Kroger's been a part of the neighborhood for a long time. We've helped with hundreds of Sunday mornings, thousands of supper times, and goodness knows how many late-night snacks. After all these years in Atlanta, we've made some wonderful friends.
Oh, no. Why me? Don't even think about... Oh, no. I hate this thing. You stupid.
Fox Sports News Primetime. Your Sunday night source for all the day's NFL action. Catch Keith, Kevin, NFL coaching great Marv Levy, and our all-pro team of analysts. Woo! Fox Sports News Primetime. Sunday night, every night. This is Fox Sports Net.
We're still here at Lanier National Speedway in Braselton, Georgia, just north of the city of Atlanta, as Shane Chastain takes it back to green flag racing with Rob Baldy and Stacy Long right behind him. Everybody else slips back pretty quickly, starting with the 17 car of Jamie Stevens, who's running in fourth. But these are the cats out here tonight. Shane Chastain, Rob Baldy, Stacy Long, trying to sort out who's going to be the top three here tonight. The 18 car of Otis Brooks slowly on the racetrack. He's done for the night. Looks like he's going to take it down on pit road.
Rob Baldy just kind of biding his time back there, Brian. He's going to wait for Shane Chastain to make a mistake, but if he does that, he'll probably wait too long. It's not going to happen. He's going to have to force the hand of Shane Chastain out in front. Once the rubbing starts to happen, 2 laps to go, maybe.
That's sideways action there.
Scott Smith in the 6.
That's right. Smith in the 6 car there. Kind of a Mark Martin look-alike number anyway, even though the car doesn't resemble the Valvoline car. But here the 17 is right there too, Jamie Stevens, and these guys are 4th and 5th on the racetrack right now. Stevens just ahead of Scott Smith.
81, Mark Winko, the Oakwood driver. Got another spinner here, 23.
That's Frankie Farmer going around. Right behind him was Paul Kelly in the 24 car. And we're not sure if maybe Frankie Farmer got a little bit of help there. They were racing for position on the track, and Kelly was going for 10th. Frankie Farmer gets the 23 car turned around. It's his first race here tonight in late model division.
They got a tough field here too tonight, Brian, but it's just going to get better after these restarts. Great challenge up front.
And another caution at Lanier. We'll be right back to finish it.
Very, very fast.
It's the most fun you'll ever have for the dollars.
Let's go racing.
Stop at Charlotte, watched the shootout, went and ordered a car the next day.
You can get into these things relatively inexpensively and have a real good time. And they're true race cars. They're not toys. This is the friendliest bunch of race drivers.
It's a family affair. They're absolutely a handful.
We'll learn some stuff, get a grin on, and get a car and go racing.
If you're ready to lose weight, muscle up, and get back into shape, I've got a free video you're going to love.
Introducing a winning fitness strategy.
You got to eat healthy, drink plenty of water, and most importantly, strength train with Bowflex.
Strength training adds muscle. Not only does your shape look better, you actually increase your metabolism, so you end up burning more calories.
Strength training these days isn't just for men. It's great for women, too. And Bowflex is designed for both. It's even been called the best home gym by Fitness Magazine.
Use as little as 5 pounds to more than 400 pounds of resistance.
Follow our 6-week fast fat loss program or create your own from over 60 different health club quality exercises.
Bowflex is easy to own, and it fits in any room in your house. It comes with a 6-week guarantee on results, and you can finance it with no money down and payments as low as $33 per month. Hey, I'm 41, and I'm in the best shape of my life. And I can tell you, Bowflex really does work.
For a free video and brochure on the machine that can help you get into great shape at any age, call right now.
Getting ready to go back to green flag racing after they put Paul Kelly to the back of the field for bringing out the most recent caution. And on the restart, just a handful of laps to go for Shane Chastain to pull off a win. But Stacy Long is challenging for second place, and he got a little bit of a drive on the drop of the flag, and it looks like he may be working on Rob Baldy a little bit better than he has before. And of course, it's coming down to the finish ski. Now's the time to go to work.
Definitely. Shane Chastain has changed his line around the racetrack, Brian. He's using a way wider line here. I think he's found some traction out there that the other guys haven't ventured out there to go. There goes Stacy Long out there to try to have a feel for that traction. Rob Baldy has to defend, so he can't go out there and try it. But Chastain will have to get a lap time on him here. He's definitely cooked up the pace here and pulled off 4-car length lead here easily.
They are starting to creep up a little bit closer, but as long as Rob Baldy and Stacy Long are racing each other, Shane Chastain can pull away. Now Long comes down inside, and for the first time he is side by side as the white flag is flying. Shane Chastain is going to scamper to the checkers here while the race goes on behind him, and Stacy Long has the position. On the final lap, he earns second place. Chastain crosses the line to see the checkered flag first, but then it's going to be Stacy Long, Rob Baldy, Jamie Stevens, and Scott Smith rounding out the top 5. What a tremendous way to end the evening of racing here at Lanier National. We got to run. All the caution flags put us behind schedule, but we're certainly glad that you could join us. And thanks to Dave Leniger and Tom Brown for their great work here tonight. And my special thanks to my broadcast partner, David Sadowski, and to you for joining us. I'm Brian Drever. So long, everybody.
Hi, everybody. I'm Dan Deardorff. Where would you go for a home equity loan? Let's ask.
Well, banks have the best rates.
But banks only lend money when you don't need it.
Advanta National Bank is different. They lend money to people when they need it.
Right. With my credit?
They made their first loans 45 years ago to teachers who had trouble borrowing. They helped out when others wouldn't.
This is a bank, right?
With customers who get the flexibility only a national bank can offer, right over the phone.
Got to move all your accounts there.
Nope, just call Advanta. One of their loan specialists will show you how to use the equity in your home to pay off all of your bills. Get one low monthly payment and save hundreds of dollars a month, plus a tax deduction.
You'll wait for some board to approve.
You'll get fast approval over the phone. And your money in about 10 days. You don't need to have money in the bank to get money from a bank. To get the loan you want, call Advanta at 1-800-507-9840. You'll see they're different. Hey, they don't keep banker's hours either.
I'm his biggest fan. What I like best is his aggressive play. He's mean. In fact, I owe my yacht, my beach house, solid gold, and my wife's various surgeries, all to the out-of-town referrals that he sends my way. See this gap? You could drive a town car through it. Incidentally, I just bought one, fully loaded. Drives like a dream.
Now, tonight's most up-to-the-minute scores, highlights, and sports news from coast to coast. This is Fox Sports News Prime Time.
Hi, and happy Wednesday. It is for the Braves and Yankees. They rest up and get ready for the start of the World Series. Along with Jeannie Zalasko, I'm Chris Myers. Glad to have you with us here on Fox Sports News Prime Time.
And while the world of baseball is on pause, everyone else is picking up the slack, including the Jumbotron, sharing the sights and sounds of this Sports Wednesday. The new Mr. October is making plans to repeat the feat from '96.
Sprewell and the Knicks taking on the Nets. We'll have the NBA preseason hoop highlights.
And a special Fox chat with the NFL's hottest coach, Norv Turner.
Speaking of chatting, Mike Tyson mixes it up verbally with Orlin Norris.
Back up in Orlin Norris.
Ain't no way.
Ain't no backing up in Mike Tyson.
I know, that's why we got a great fight.
I see you doing that talking, chump.
That's right. I'm not all right.
And we'll also tell you about the Broncos and Chargers naming their starting quarterbacks for Sunday. The Rockies make it official, and Bobby Valentine reflects. We start with the Fall Classic, and the countdown to Saturday's opening game in Atlanta has begun. It's a World Series with a premium on pitching. It's Yankees against Southerners, Madison Avenue against Peachtree Street. The Yankees held an optional workout at Yankee Stadium today as they prepare for Game 1 against the Braves. Nothing optional for Joe Torre and having to align his rotation as the Yankees go for their 25th World Championship. El Duque, Clemens, Cone, and Andy Pettitte will all get the starts, but which and when is Torre's big question. Our Michael Kay has more from Yankee Stadium.
Rain in New York City on Wednesday forced the Yankees' optional workout indoors, but it was a calm and collected Yankee team because they know who they're going to play in the World Series. Yes, the Mets lost to the Braves, so Armageddon Subway Series, that's out, and a rematch of the 1996 series against the Braves, that's in.
It's a different team. A lot of the players are the same. I don't think there's an advantage for either team.